The gym manager mocked me for quitting. He didn't know I own his building. The laminated membership card hit the countertop with a pathetic plastic click, sliding across the fake marble surface until it bumped against a shaker bottle filled with sludge green protein shake. Brad, the gym manager, a guy whose biceps were wider than his neck and whose IQ likely matched his shoe size, didn't even look up from his phone. He just kept scrolling, his thumb flicking upward with a rhythmic, dismissive arrogance that made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. I'm canceling, I said, my voice cutting through the thumping bass of the terrible EDM remix blasting over the speakers. I've been trying to call for 3 weeks. No one answers, so I'm here. Cancel it. Brad finally looked up. He had that glazed, half-lidded stare of someone who thinks the world owes him a favor for existing. He took a slow, noisy slurp from his shaker bottle, let out a performative exhale, and smirked. Quitting already, big guy? He asked, looking me up and down. He wasn't just looking, he was inspecting, judging the fit of my suit, the lack of visible deltoids, the general aura of a corporate office worker. It's only February. Most of the resolution casuals washed out 2 weeks ago. I had a bet going you'd last until March. I felt the heat rising in my neck, a physical pressure building behind my ears. It wasn't just the insult, it was the sheer, unadulterated unprofessionalism. It was 5:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. I had worked a 10-hour day managing commercial portfolios, dealing with attorneys, contractors, and city zoning boards. I didn't have the bandwidth for a meathead power trip. Just process the cancellation, Brad, I said, pointing to the computer screen. I'm moving offices. This location doesn't work for me anymore. Can't do it, he said, popping the cap back on his bottle. Read the contract, bro. You gotta give 30 days notice. In writing, certified mail, to the corporate office in Nevada. I'm standing right here, I argued, leaning over the counter. I am giving you notice. In person. I'm willing to sign whatever form you have. Brad laughed. It was a dry, hacking sound. Corporate policy. I can't touch the system. It's locked out at the local level. Plus, since you didn't send the letter 30 days ago, you're on the hook for February and March. And there's a $200 early termination fee since you're breaking the 12-month commit. I've been a member for 3 years, I hissed. The 12-month commit is long over. Auto renewal, boss, Brad winked. Clause 14, Section B, unless you cancel within the 5-day window of your anniversary, it locks you in for another year. You missed the window. You pay forever, or you pay the buyout. He spun the monitor around. The screen showed a balance due of $289. February dues, March dues, and the cancellation fee. This is extortion, I said, my hands clenching into fists at my sides. It's business, Brad retorted, leaning back in his chair and putting his feet up on the desk, my side of the desk. Look, if you can't afford it, just say so. We have a hardship program for people who, struggle. I can get you a form for low-income assistance. He was enjoying this. He was getting off on the power dynamic. To him, I was just another suit trying to weasel out of a contract, and he was the gatekeeper. He thought he held all the cards because he had a login to the membership software and I didn't. I can afford it, I said, pulling out my wallet. The leather creaked as I opened it. I'm paying it to be done with you, but I want a receipt. A zero-balance receipt. And I want it in writing that my membership is terminated effective immediately. Whatever makes you feel better, Brad shrugged. He took my credit card, swiped it with agonizing slowness, and printed out a slip of thermal paper. He scribbled, canceled, on it in blue ballpoint pen, not even bothering to stamp it. There you go, quitter, he said, flicking the paper toward me. It fluttered to the floor. Try Planet Fitness next time. They have pizza nights. Probably more your speed. I bent down, picked up the receipt, and looked him dead in the eye. I didn't scream. I didn't flip the display case of protein bars. I just folded the receipt, placed it in my breast pocket, and walked out into the cold, gray parking lot. I sat in my Audi for a moment, watching the neon Iron Forge Fitness sign buzz and flicker. A G was burned out, so it read Iron for E-Fitness. The parking lot was riddled with potholes. The landscaping was overgrown, dead weeds choking the decorative shrubs. Brad thought he had won. He thought he had extracted his pound of flesh and humiliated a quitter. He didn't know that my day job involves managing a $300 million real estate portfolio. He didn't know that my company, Apex Capital, specializes in acquiring distressed commercial assets. And he certainly didn't know that 3 weeks ago, we closed on the deed for the entire crumbling strip mall he was currently flexing inside of. What follows is a dissection of power. We aren't just going to see a rude gym manager get fired. We are going to witness the systematic deconstruction of his reality. Brad thinks the lease protects him, but he hasn't checked the change of control provisions or the demolition clauses. He's worried about losing a membership. I'm about to show him what it looks like to lose the ground he's standing on. The hunter is about to become the prey, and the weapon isn't a fist. It's a PDF attachment sent at 4:55 p.m. on a Friday. Click here to watch full video.